Pisha to datri 1011 شاريلي أسيرياتيفي بفروسيفي وموزبنا وهاوي أسيرياتيفي أوقولو حيرو وأوقولو شاريو دوعا موسريو ببريثو وأوني جد أسيرياتيفي دماحت فرجونو بوفوكوس ودنوق الأطيبي وشرشو تتكون بين دوعا ميذن لبريثو كولا لجن أسيريا تيفت قدر مداوم بوف الحونيذي قلو زملي إم عذرون ثثخو إذا كورحميتو أو شغلت أسيريا تيفي وكوحوزيتو إلصويثت أسيريا تيفي بو حقلو دي ميديا مفصوحين ساقيد معضريتو أسيريا تيفي درب مشحل في كبخم عضريتو أسيريا تيفي كبخو هويتو هادومي بو فيسبوك منيونو تزوزي ناعيمي أو إنقلد رحميتو دهويتو هادومي بو يوتيوب تاموستب منيونو تزوزي ناعيمي كبعيتو دهو والخوميديا تكتلا قولو حيرو ودلاتيو ما صرتو عم قابش وتوسي توكوسي وأوعيتا ووثي مقوايو أسيريا تيفي مقوايو وقولتخو يميدي
Hello, my name is Joseph Pirayou. Thank you for watching in the beginning Ashur program. Today's program is like a follow-up of last program, which was Ashur's #1 enemy. And before I start, as always, this program is live. If you have any comments, if you have any questions that you want to send us, if I can answer it on the live program, I will. If not, later on, we can check. And the future programs, I will continue. I will go and cover that. Today's program, it's a little heavy for me because we're touching a subject that, as far as nation of Ashur or people of Ashur, that now even we are more spread across the globe. Up until 50, 60 years ago, majority of us were like in Iraq, Syria, Turkey, Iran, Lebanon. So we are spread pretty much everywhere, Australia, New Zealand, most of Europe. Still we have people in those countries in the Middle East, the Americas, some people South America. So when the subject of Ashur's #1 enemy comes, what stages we look at, that's one way. But what my thinking was, what is the core, what is the true root that is the true enemy? And when I was doing the research last week, what does enemy mean? It's like interesting things that come up when you go to dictionary, because sometimes you think you know what the word means, which is generally enemy is like a person who is actively opposed or hostile to someone or something, or a hostile nation or its armed forces or citizens that are against. One other interpretation that they had for the word enemy was that a thing that harms or weakens something else. And that's the core of what I was trying to bring it up. But for today, it's some things become more clear. For example, last week, I showed a comment made by my cousin Powell, but that comment was had like two parts. It says, "Dear cousin, why we need to have an enemy, and good people have no enemies." And the two parts that I'm mentioning is that one, I had my own idea of what to talk about. When I saw this comment, I said, wait a minute, I need to even go further back because I was going to talk about our enemies. But when I looked at it, it says, why we need to have enemies? And we are good people, right? And we shouldn't have enemies. So that was one part. But the other part that is, I think, is, if not more important, but equally important, is that another idea came. What I'm trying to say is that one person can have an idea. Two together working would be better. Three, even better. 4, 5, 6, working together, the ideas. Because it really helped me to look back. Everybody that is seeing this show, thinking what the subject is, critical thinking, do we have an enemy, don't we have an enemy, who's our enemy, who's number one enemy. And I want to show you another one, Marlene Ashureta, that I know her on Facebook. She made a comment, if you can see that. Excuse me. So Marlene, she says, Shlama Joseph, in relation to your topic, enemy, I would like to add something here, which I'm sure you are aware of too. The region where our people mostly lived is Islamist world. For the Muslims, whoever isn't Muslim is considered an infidel. So nothing is new for us at all. It doesn't matter who we are, as long as we are not Muslims, we are in their eyes as hostile Christians, I think, or hostile. The Western nations tolerated these Muslims a lot. Slowly, they will be foreign to their own homelands too. Actually, we are witnessing the cultural diversity every day of our lives, which means that they have allowed this to happen. Now, why am I showing you this? Today, I want to talk about how, I don't know how to put it the right way. It's when we are working together. A comment from last week, a comment for this week. I saw a picture in front of me. We have so many people that they love our nation, Ashur. They love to see unity. The only platform that I have is Facebook, and I get most of my information. I'm not very active. I just post about the program, but I see a lot of different posts that are being made. We see a lot of people talking about being patriots, love our land, love Ashur language. I see a lot about Christianity, verses from Bible, this and that. But one thing that I see is that there is this, how do I put it? There is this passion about keeping our language, keeping our culture, identity. And there is like, we're looking for something like bring us together, unity. And there is, okay, who's the enemy? Why? Because we're not united. Is that the reason? So I was thinking like unity. What is unity? When we say we should be united, we need unity. I was thinking an example. I was talking to my better half, Stella, about unity. What would be a good example of great unity or oppositely worse unity? Couple examples that came to our mind, we were talking about this, was one is marriage. That's a unity between two people. Now, a great marriage, opposite a bad marriage that ends up in divorce. Why is it ends up in divorce when the unity is disunited or whatever? There are three things, I believe. I mean, if you agree or disagree, let us know or let me know. There are three things in marriage, and we are talking about another thing, business partnership, because business partnership is the best type of business that you can have instead of like corporation, this and that, because people working together. And it could be the worst nightmare you can ever have. Why? Same with bad marriage and same with bad partnership. Three things: loyalty, trust, respect. The best marriages in the world, the couples have respect for each other, they trust each other, and they're loyal to each other. Same with business partnership. We use the word love, love. This like couple of brothers, they start a partnership, they're from same family, they have, grew up together, they know each other, they start a partnership. If there is no loyalty, no respect, no trust, guess what happens to that brother or sister? Two sisters doing it. So unity, a true unity, needs the trust, respect, and loyalty. Now, this is, I guess, what they call love. Love for our nation, love for our name, love for our culture. We need to respect it. We trust the people that are doing it. We should be loyal to it. Somehow that unity is not the way that it should be, because as Marlon mentioned, those nations that most of us came from them, they have a claw over our head. We can't breathe the way that we want to. Anytime they want to do whatever they want to do. So they are the enemy. But I'm looking deeper. Who is number one enemy? Not intentionally, as may I say, not intentionally. What do I mean by this? So I was talking about the love, right? When there is no trust, respect, loyalty, there is no unity. But how we came to be like this? My opinion is like, okay, what is opposite love? Many people say it's hate, or it's something that we don't want, or whatever. It's like emotional, because we think emotional when we think about love. That's why opposite love would be hate. In reality, opposite love, if you think about it, is indifference. When you don't care, when you say, it doesn't bother me, it's none of my business, why should I care? Why should I waste my time? Why should I waste my energy? And some birds, say, why should I give money or support financially or by work? That indifference, I believe we are in that stage right now. Not all of us, but as for that unity, the trust is gone. We don't respect, we are not loyal, not purposely, but something has happened. Now, there was this story that I heard years back, that the devil or Satan, he was showing up, and he put all of his, what they call it, the things that he did to the people, he put them on display, and the displays were, one was murder, the other one stealing, the other one backstabbing, the other one this, that. And each one of them had certain prices associated. If you want to buy murder, you pay so much and so much. In a corner, there was this small little thing that nobody really looked at it, but they saw underneath, it said priceless. And they asked Satan, he says, what is it that is priceless? He says, this is the number one tool that I use, And through that, I get murder, I get stealing, I get backstabbing, I get all of, adultery, this and that. And they said, what is this? He said, my number one tool is to discourage people, make him hopeless. Because when you are discouraged, when you are hopeless, you can do so many bad things that come out of that seed that is put there. That was the story I heard. And I was thinking about that. Hopeless, discouraged. I think majority of us are at this stage right now, because the indifference that I was talking, what is the opposite of love? Why shouldn't we love our culture, our name, our identity, unite, be one together? Why? Because of activities, whatever that is, either through through faith, did so many things, or politicians, or whatever negative that has happened to us. Involvement is not there anymore. So I don't care, because we are hopeless. We are, what is the other word I was using? We are discouraged. Why should I do that? Now, in this program, in the beginning, Ashur, number one, I should say purpose, not purpose. The number one important thing for me is this program is our identity, specifically our name. That's why Ashur is used instead of Assyrian, and the word, because that is first our true name. I'm not creating something new. It's just going back to the origin. But one thing that I've seen is that everybody that I've seen on Facebook or some programs I see on YouTube, somehow each one of us thinks their way is the right way. We should do this. We should do that. We should do this. And I was thinking, say, Joseph, you have this platform. You're talking about Ashur, about identity. Let us bring those ideas together. Like last week, Powell sent an idea. It helped me. Marlon today for this program gave her opinion about enemy. I want to invite you guys. I want to invite my Ashur family to the program in the beginning, Ashur. We live in a world that has been shrunk so much through internet, right? I mean, I'm sitting here in San Jose, California, and in, I believe, around Stockholm, Sweden. Assyria TV is there, and we are doing this live program and bringing it to you. Why can't we have you that have ideas, you think your plan is great, bring it. All we need is the internet. All you need is an internet, a computer, and the program will be in English language. Because this is right now the only way we can communicate with majority of our people, especially the youth. Nowadays, everything is in English. So this would be the, let's say, requirements. The computer, internet, and we will do it in English. You send us, whoever you are, says, Joseph, I want to talk to you on this program. We make the arrangement. We're going to come live. Probably 20 minutes, half an hour. We don't want to sit here for hours and hours to talk about. If we need, we can do the second, third, fourth. Doesn't matter. In the beginning, Ashur program is yours. How do you want to use it? I talked to Assyria TV people. I asked them if we can do that. They said, you're more than welcome. Bring everybody. Your opinion matters, but it's not just opinion. See, there is difference between faith and belief. Belief doesn't do, I almost said it, doesn't do anything. Because belief, there is no action behind it. When you act on what you believe, it's called faith. Now, The reason I'm here talking about Ashur in the beginning, Ashur, language, identity, our name, I get my fuel through Bible. You don't, that's fine. How do you get your fuel? Come and share it with us. Bring it in. You want to talk about Assyrianism or Ashurism, we should go this and that way. Come on in. We are brothers and sisters. We are one family. There is no other name. Chaldean, Aramean, Syriacs, Assyrian, none of these. We are people of Ashur. We are Ashuri. That's another thing that I'm hoping we can spread this name, Ashur nation, Ashuri language. We are Ashur. Some people mentioned to me Ashurit. Fine. Please, no Ashurian, because this is like, we are unique. You have to accept that. Ashur, Ashuri, Ashur. That's my opinion. I get my fuel from what I call the Bible or the Word of God. This is what I believe. I don't force it, as I said. And what makes you? What gives you fuel? Bring it on. This is not just a one time. From now on, every time I do a program, I will invite individuals, most preferably individuals, because to get started, we don't want to have groups. Maybe if this grows, we have more people, we can do Zoom, like they have like 10, 20 different pictures, and we probably wouldn't do that. But bring your ideas. We are one. Same family. Different ideas, but look at each other as one family. This is the part that from last week to this week, when I see the idea that Paul gave, and it helped me to look further back. And when you're looking at Ashur's number one enemy, as I mentioned, one of the interpretation for enemy was to harm or weaken something else. By us not getting involved, by us not going towards the unity. What unity? Trust, respect, loyalty. How do we get that? It's like getting to know each other, spending time together, bringing ideas and acting on it. The number one enemy is inaction by us. When we sit there, when we don't do anything, we weaken and harm ourselves. That's number one enemy. Because when we do that, like the discouragement that the devil was doing, by discouraging, he creates murder, suicide, rape, adultery, stealing, lying. So by us harming and weakening ourselves, the enemy, there are two ways they are harming us. One, in the area of Middle East, they are harming us physically. As I mentioned last week, in Torabdin, in Nohadra, in so many other places. Even in Iran, even though they are not physically, but when the girl that was killed because of a hijab, and some of our Ashuri people were from United States or outside Iran were making comments, the government of Iran got all the religious leaders of different denominations and the member of the parliament and told them, listen, tell your people to zip, no comments, don't do anything. Tell your people to not get involved. What do you mean not get involved? Isn't that our country? Those people will live around? I guess not. So we have Inanna here is making a comment, says, evil only prevail when good people do nothing. Thank you, Inanna. So what is it that we need to do? Inanna, you have an idea? You want to make some time? You want to come on the program? You want to tell us what do you think? Give us 15, 20 minutes of your time. Do you have a computer? Do you have internet? Do you speak English? Yabba dabba do. Let's do it. Bring it on. Thank you for your comment. That's great. When good people do nothing. We are good people. Nobody can tell us those Assyrians of 2,000 years ago. After we became Christian, in the country that we were, Marlon mentioned something about the Muslims, but before Islam came, those Zoroastrians, the Mazdaki, the Shapur II that came 40 years, persecuted us. Those were not Muslims. Muslims came, everybody. But we are good people. Wherever we were, we keep our head down, we work hard. We have people, we moved to, as I mentioned, Australia, Europe, United States, Americas, Canada. Everywhere that we have went, we have gone. Majority of us are hardworking people for our family, for our kids, their education, this, that. Of course, there are some bad apples that are everywhere. But as a nation, we don't have that bad reputation. Except, I remember, this is a long time ago, it was like 1980, 81. My friend and I were driving, he was driving fast. A police officer, he stopped us. And my friend was so scared. He said, oh, police officer, please, my father is going to kill me. You know, we are Assyrian. My father said, oh, you're Assyrian. I heard of you guys in Chicago. I don't know back then what was the thing, but I guess there was some fighting or there was a gang or anything. Other than that, sorry, my friends and family members in Chicago. It was just, that was interesting that a cop in San Jose knew about Assyrians in Chicago. But other than that, we are good people. Everywhere we go, we keep our head down, work hard. As Powell mentioned, you know, why would we need enemy? Our existence is the enemy to the people in the Middle East. Now, I mentioned physically in Middle East, generally that's how they are. The enemy is working against us to harm us physically mostly. Outside, we are being harmed by certain groups. This is not the time to specifically say by dividing us and not letting us get together. That's why most people, I was talking to my son a few years back, says, Mikey, you know, we are people, we are this. I says, Baba, I gave up. We go to these gatherings, everybody's complaining, everybody's saying this guy, there is jealousy, there is no trust, everybody wants to be the chief, this. And I said, I give up. My son became one of these discouraged. He's not. I told him about our people. He said, our people, this, I mean, we talked about this. But I could see my son that he's like, his father is involved. Imagine how many people out there that are discouraged, that are hopeless. We have to switch from indifference, bring it back to love. It's a process. It's not easy, cannot happen overnight. How can you gain somebody's trust that has been backstabbed so many times? It's not easy. But there is a plan. It's simple. We can do it. The past, Inanna is saying, I think it's that comment on YouTube, the past shouldn't be used against people from now. All ethnicities, cultures have done same. If we don't learn from the past, how can we go ahead? Maybe I misunderstood you. Can you put that one more time? So now all ethnicities, cultures have done same. I'm sorry, it's not very clear to me. So the past shouldn't be used against people from now. All ethnicities, cultures have done same. First of all, I think we should care about who we are. Whatever other cultures, ethnicities have done, they've done. It's none of my business. What is it that we want to do? I believe there would be a land Ashur in the future. When? I don't know. One thing I know, between now and then, we have to keep our name, true name, Ashur, language, identity, unity. How do you unite? By getting together. As I mentioned, I want to invite you to come and have participation in this program. Last night, Stella and I, we were talking, and It was like we were talking, imagining things, and imagine. Say, wait a minute, there is a song, "Imagine" by. People shouldn't blame Assyrians for their. Well, I don't know who's blaming. In honor of saying that, people shouldn't blame Assyrian for their ancestors. Well, first of all, I'm not apologizing for what my ancestors did back when we had the empire. Because as an empire, this is the process. That's why we have all these artifacts by them being at the same time that they were conquerors, great fighters, but we know we are the cradle of the civilization. So we should never apologize. Oh, I'm sorry that we conquered you. No, it is what it is. We have that history. That's why we have all these museums with all these artifacts that show and prove who we are, and we are the people that are here now. Go back 3, 4, 5,000 years. That's what the proof is. If they hadn't done it, so let's not apologize for our ancestors. Cradle of civilization. But at the same time, we are here now. We have to, not that have to, but in order for us, as I said, I believe in the future. When we get that land, I don't know. As I said, preservation of our name, preservation of our identity, preservation of our culture, everything that is needs for this people needs to be preserved. Again, as I was saying about the song, imagine that it came to our mind. We were talking about this, imagining, when we're going to have our land, this and that. So John Lennon of the Beatles, late John Lennon, was assassinated, I guess, murdered in New York. He wrote a song, Imagine. And Stella and I, we sat down, we kind of changed a few words. And when we were writing this, Stella said, Joseph, are you going to sing it? I said, of course not. I don't want to scare people. But let's see, this is what we came up together, and I want to share that with you before we end the program. Can we have it on, please? Excuse me. Imagine the land of Ashur. It's easy if you try. No enemy among us, above us, only the sky. Imagine all the people living life in peace, our people. Imagine our country, Ashur. Is it hard to do? Can we move it up? Imagine our country, Ashur. Is it hard to do? No more killing or dying, and no more division too. You may say, I'm a dreamer. Hopefully, I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and people of Ashur will be as one. This imagine that we have here is more doable than the imagine that John Lennon had. No countries, no religion, peace around the world, all of these things. I'm telling you, that's wishful thinking. But this is doable. It's up to us. As I said earlier, I want to invite everybody. Another thing about Assyria TV is that we have, that as far as I know, this program is on Facebook and YouTube. You like what we're doing here is please go to Facebook page, like it. You can subscribe to YouTube. And if you really, really believe what we're doing is right, you want to share that so we can grow bigger, you can subscribe, you can become members both on FB and YouTube, $3, $4, $5 a month, whatever, if it has value. It's free. You can see it anytime that you want, but it has value. And by value is that you come in, join us, increase the value, and we will grow together. Because this is the only platform, Assyria TV, that is truly, truly working for the nation of Ashur. And talking about unity, nation of Ashur, as always, we finish this program with the unity song, dance, Sheikhani. Until then, my name is Joseph Pirayou. See you soon. Mafqida. Thank you very much.
Sheikhani.